tabs on you. And then if you've got a warrant out, it goes into a database. If it's not a high priority, then they can come to your house a week later, knowing your real address. But if it's a high priority, your SWAT team within 2 hours. The pizza's, of course, delivered so you don't notice. The person taking the order doesn't even know. I mean, the point is everything is being integrated. Now, I remember about 10 years ago, Toyota and General Motors, as part of Pentagon grants, were looking at putting cameras in the top of the rear view mirror, a small camera, just a pinpoint camera that by law will hook into a cell phone package similar to OnStar that will then be punched in by the Pentagon, by the NSA, by the local federalization threat fusion centers. And then I saw a governor admit that of Wisconsin in 2003. That's in the film Matrix of Evil. 2004, mainstream Green Bay newspaper, with the governor said too much at a threat fusion center at a tour and said, we type in here, it calls up where you're at, real-time your cell phone. We type in here, it listens to your cell phone even if it's off, and we type in here, and in the future there'll be cameras tracking you. And so that's all mainstream news now today. And it's just going in, and it's just the way it is. And again, it's to totally surveil and have AI computers listening to every word you say, and they're just announcing it in your face. Has nothing to do with CIA-run men that live in caves, okay? Let's just be clear. They fund them to kill our troops to keep the war going. They both fund the opposition and the war itself. It's called full-spectrum dominance. Now, there it is. Missouri tracks scofflaws via pizza delivery databases, USA Today, and that is actually 2004, but I first saw that in 2000. There it is for you. Okay, let's continue. In-flight surveillance could foil terrorists in the sky. And it goes on to say the Big Brother is not bad now. Big Brother is there to help you. And that's also in the TV piece when they interview one of the scientists, computer scientists that's developed this. He says, Big Brother's not bad. Big Brother is here to help. And, of course, in 1984, Big Brother was there, a watchful Big Brother. And it goes on, CCTV cameras are bringing more and more public places under surveillance, and passenger aircraft could be next. Well, actually, they've announced the purchases are being made. A prototype European system uses multiple cameras and Big Brother software, that's what they call it. See, it's all in your face. To try and automatically detect terrorists or other dangers caused by passengers. The European Union Security and Aircraft in Future European Environment, or SAFE, project uses the camera in every passenger seat with 6 wide-angle cameras per individual to survey the aisles. Software analyzes the footage to detect developing terrorist activity on air rage incidents by tracking passengers' facial expressions. These are already in most airports. It's all quackery. They walk over, you're sweating. Yeah, I just hauled my stuff out of the parking garage 300 yards, and it's 103 degrees out there, and yeah, I'm sweating. Well, you look irritated. Yeah, I happen to have a stomachache. Or I just happened to get a call that I'm being audited. Yeah, I'm in a bad mood. Or I just got a call that my wife was in a car wreck, punk. Yeah, you bet I'm sweating and look angry. Yeah, you bet. I'm even more angry talking to you. Everybody knows your boss is Blue 9/11. Everybody knows you stage Gulf of Tonkin. Everybody knows those radiation machines are going to roast my genitals and give me skin cancer. Everybody knows you're saving the images. Everybody knows you're paid $14 an hour to be a pervert. Everybody knows it's a fraud. That's what I really want to say to you. But in some news reports, it's to fight terrorists, and others, it's for anger on the airplanes. I mean, I've been on these airplanes, and either the flight attendants, the stewardesses, ooh, political correctness, I just violated a thought crime saying stewardess. They're either real nice or they're looking for trouble. I've seen them puff up to people, bow up to people. And see, that's how tyranny works. All these little petty people get this petty thugism through the system, and they get to oppress you. So I thought we'd go over that, and then CBS News is announcing a federal legislation where everything you do in your car will be watched by video. It's all part of freedom. And major police chiefs in Houston and other major cities are proposing cameras in all homes. And if you don't like it, you're a conspiracy theorist. See, now being a conspiracy theorist just means you don't like tyranny.
Protect your freedoms and be independent by learning how to maintain, repair, and customize your own firearms through these exclusive video training courses on DVD from the American Gunsmithing Institute. Call and get a free 2-hour sampler DVD video and catalog. See just how quickly and easily you can learn firearm disassembly and reassembly, accurizing, customizing, super tuning, refinishing, trigger repair, and much, much more for rifles, pistols, and shotguns. Courses available for both the hobbyist and the professional. You can even get certified as a gunsmith to make money part-time, full-time, or as a retirement income doing what you love. Call 1-800-247-5032 to order your free sampler DVD and catalog. That's 1-800-247-5032. Call now and get a bonus $10 saving coupon. 1-800-247-5032 or go to AmericanGunsmithDVD.com. Learn how, learn now with AmericanGunsmithDVD.com, your source for how-to gunsmithing videos.
The economy is crumbling, debt soaring, and the possibility of World War III is increasing. I started SurvivalistSeeds.com from my dining room table with a small bucket of seed and a single rotating banner ad on PrisonPlanet.com. 2 years later, we've sold over 40,000 pounds of heirloom seeds, becoming the largest bulk seed seller to the public. The majority of our customers are Alex Jones listeners. Now I'm offering 50 all-organic garden varieties, 10,000 heirloom seeds, a garden planner, and a CD teaching you how to save seeds so your children's children will always have healthy food. Don't wait until it's too late. I'm Big John Lipscomb, and my company is SurvivalistSeeds.com.
As many people know, ever since President Nixon took us off the gold standard, the U.S. dollar has been devaluating. What people don't know, however, is how this directly affects your personal finances. Is there a way to prevent your portfolios from losing value? The answer to all of this is gold and silver. They've both maintained their purchasing power for 6,000 years. If you had had $100,000 in cash and $100,000 in gold and silver back in 1913 and kept them both until now, your cash would actually have the buying power of only $4,800, but your gold and silver would have the buying power of $3 million. The answer to protecting your assets is simple. Call me, John Ballman, today at 1-800-686-2237, extension 169. Get all your questions answered before your money is worth zero. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 169. Take action today while we still accept paper dollars for gold. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 169.
What is a wind generator?
How can the wind produce power for a small cabin?
How can wind energy be stored and used during an emergency?
Can I assemble my own wind generator?
For answers to questions about wind power, visit windbluepower.com. Did you know the wind could provide your family with emergency power? It can with a wind generator from windbluepower.com. Learn how our amazing LightBreeze wind generator kits start charging a 12-volt battery and just 6 mile per hour wind. Or see the new Cyclone X2 dual kit featuring 2 wind generators on just 1 tower. And learn why schools and universities across the country utilize our products to teach about wind power and alternative energy at windbluepower.com. All kits qualify for a 30% IRS tax credit for residential energy efficient property. Enter coupon code RADIO for a 5% discount at windbluepower.com. That's windbluepower.com or call 800-976-0026. That's 800-976-0026.
Okay, let's play the second half of my RT interview yesterday, where they go to a news package about anti-terror cameras analyzing your behavior. This is literal pre-crime, thought crime. Then we'll come back in the next segment, and I'll continue to analyze how they're now going to roll out with cameras in your cars with audio, watching everything you do. Here it is.
And then RT's Laura Emmett has the latest.
Off for a week in the sun. But if a European Union project goes ahead, these people could have their conversations and movements monitored while they're flying. The plan has alarmed civil liberties campaigners who fear further growth in the surveillance state. But air passengers are divided.
Yeah, I think that's bad. Just because it's like private and personal, you wouldn't. I don't know. I think there's a line, and we keep pushing it with like the regulations. And
I think it's so prevalent already, and with this expected. You watch TV on land, you watch TV in the air. You'll be surveilled on land. You'll be surveilled in the air.
Doesn't worry me. I've got nothing to hide, so it wouldn't worry me personally. No.
The EU project is aimed at tackling terrorism by analysing the way passengers behave in a bid to isolate potential bombers or hijackers when they're already on board. At the moment, surveillance on planes is mainly limited to a CCTV camera near the cockpit.
Britons are the most watched people in the world, with more CCTV cameras per capita than any other nation. There are cameras on motorways, in train stations and in airports. And it's here at the University of Reading that the new in-flight surveillance system's being developed. It won't just include cameras, there'll also be microphones and special systems for monitoring unusual behaviour.
Behaviour the system will eventually be able to pick up includes sweating, moving around the cabin in an erratic way and repeated visits to the toilet. Dr. James Ferryman insists it will distinguish between potential terrorists and nervous flyers.
Now, one way we could do that is to look very carefully at the types of cues that we detect. So, for example, someone may be acting nervously or anxiously, perhaps sweating. In isolation, of course, that doesn't say anything. It could be just, again, a nervous flyer. But it could be a terrorist. But we only know that when we combine this information with other sources of information that come to play. I like to think of it as not Big Brother watching you, but Big Brother looking after you.
Not everyone sees it that way. Campaigners say privacy is one of the litmus tests for a democracy, and mass surveillance erodes it enormously.
It treats everyone as a suspect, and that completely contradicts one of the main tenets of democratic law, which is that everyone is innocent until they are proven to be guilty. Continuing surveillance, mass surveillance, be it video, communications, whatever the many ways that seem to just be creeping forward, completely goes against that and completely is a thorn on democracy.
Apart from the civil rights issues, many question the efficacy of an on-board system. If a terrorist isn't caught at the airport, they say by the time a plane's 30,000 feet up, isn't it already too late? Laura Emmett, RT, London.
That was RT's Laura Emmett, but I want to bring Alex back into this conversation. So you heard one guy say in that story, Big Brother's not watching you, Big Brother's looking after you. What do you make about the surveillance now in the air?
Well, in 1984, Big Brother was helping you. I mean, Big Brother didn't come out and say, we're oppressing you. This is the scientific dictatorship. They're training everyone to have everything you do recorded. 12 years ago, they put microphones up around Austin, where I live, and said, oh, they're gunshot detectors. Now they admit it's to surveil us. The naked body scanners are really to get a 360 body scan so passive cameras can look through your clothes on the street and get your identity. They bathe you in radiation. They now admit in the U.S. they're saving all the images, and they lied to the public. The terrorist is the military-industrial complex that is making us the enemy and making profits out of this, and it's total quackery, a thought crime, where they say these cameras will analyze that you're sweating, maybe you're hot, maybe you've got an upset stomach. The point is that this is all aimed at free humanity and has nothing to do with men from Central Asia that are really funded by the CIA. And Google and others are a big part of the face scanning cameras going in on the streets and all this surveillance. This is worse than 1984.
Alex, unfortunately,
it's free crime.
Unfortunately, we're coming to an end, but it's always great to have you on. We hope to check out your website. Hopefully it's back and running. That was radio host Alex Jones.
All right. Now, you heard that woman in the piece. Well, I have nothing to hide. Record me. Record the audio. Well, then how about a camera in your house? How about a camera in the bathroom? How about a camera in your shower? You're already letting them naked body scan you at the airport. They're training us in the airports and on the planes for what they plan to go mainline in the streets, at the courthouses, with mobile vans, with cameras on the street that scan through your clothes. We told you this years ago. Now it's all being announced. They are training us to live under total surveillance, worse than 1984. And the one individual who was against it all in the piece says this is creeping surveillance. It isn't creeping. It's racing. It's galloping. It's going at light speed.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the G